Hello and welcome to another edition of Issues with Jide. Here we'll talk about actions and inactions of those who shape our political and national landscape and how these impact us positively or otherwise. I'm Ibrahim Shita. Today on the show, we'll talk about the Akpabio and Natasha scandal, the untold story. In the course of the program, we take your questions, but first, subscribe to our YouTube channel and drop your questions in the comment section. It's important to mention that we can only read comments with human names and the ones based on the subject matter. I have joining me via Zoom, the master himself, Jide. Good to see you, BKO.
Good evening, Ibrahim. Good to do this with you on this day and on Owambe note. Good evening to our viewers.
I can see that you're doing it somewhere on the streets, and then I saw some proud boys, coming around to trying to maybe collect Owole, as we say in our local parlance.
Yes, I stepped out of a party. Murayo Afolabi Brown is the mother of the day. It's a wedding ceremony, and we are all happy to be here. The area boys too, they are here. I hope I can get them to stop making a noise around here.
It's one of those things. It's in a patriotic spirit of talking about issues affecting Nigeria and Nigerians as a whole. All right, let's get right into the matter. The recent allegations between Senate President Godswill Akpabio and Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan have sparked significant controversy in Nigerian politics. Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan had accused Akpabio of sexual harassment and political victimization, while Akpabio's wife, Ekaite Akpabio, has filed defamation lawsuits against Akpoti-Uduaghan, demanding substantial damages. And then Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan has been suspended for 6 months. What's your reading of this development story?
This is a very unfortunate situation. It's the sort of story that puts Nigeria to shame. And I can tell you, since I've been monitoring National Assembly matters since my Form 4, I've never seen anything like this. So many, I can say a number of male lawmakers have been suspended. They didn't do half of what Senator Natasha has done, but they were suspended. Senator Natasha was asked to vacate her seat, which is usually the case when lawmakers defect to another party. The seating arrangement has to change because they sit in majority and minority. Just as you have it in some stadiums of the world, where the away team supporters sit on one side and the supporters of the home team sit on the other side. They kind of demarcate them so that they can be controlled, so that in the event of violence, the event of breakout of violence, they can control them. So in the National Assembly, they don't just sit anyhow. They sit in minority and majority. And for that reason, when some lawmakers now defect, the seating arrangement has to change. But Senator Natasha took offense at being asked to vacate her seat. One thing was clear. On that day, some lawmakers had they've also had to leave their seats. So she was not the only person affected. So why she went that far and turned the whole atmosphere into a rancorous one, many people will not understand. Even big people, even Senator Akpabio had been moved in the past from his seat by former Senate President Bukola Saraki. And when that happened, Akpabio also protested. But once it was explained to him that, look, this is a normal thing, he apologized for the fact that he tried to make an issue out of nothing. So in the case of Senator Natasha, I want to believe that it was a case of bottled up emotions, bottled up anger over a number of things. No one can deny that Senator Natasha and Senator Akpabio had a charming relationship before this combustion that we witnessed in the Senate. In fact, Senator Ireti Kingibe said that their relationship predates their coming into the National Assembly. And no one has come out to say, no, that is not true. Uduahan, Senator Natasha's husband, had been a family friend to the Akpabios. That is a statement of fact. But it doesn't mean that because we are family friends, we cannot disagree. It doesn't mean that because we are family friends, you cannot offend me and it will pay me so much. Senator Natasha remains extremely unhappy that the Senate President removed her as chairman of the Senate Committee on Local Content, which is seen by the Nigerian Senate standards as one of the lucrative committees because of the extensive money, the big chunk of money available to the local content office. So she was not happy. But Akpabio had also been guilty of favoritism to have given a ranking, I mean, a senator who is not ranking, somebody who just came into the National Assembly, fresh, coming into the National Assembly, you gave her one of the most juicy positions. That is to tell you the extent to which our leaders go to please their friends, to please the wives of their friends. He shouldn't have taken that decision at that time. As we discovered on the floor of the National Assembly, it was Senator Sunday Karimi, representing Kogi West, that actually went to Senator Akpabio to convince him to let Senator Akpoti get that juicy position. As far as Sunday Karimi was concerned, he was fighting for a fellow senator from his state. You can now see why we have such a big problem in our country. We can't have a situation in which merit, experience is brushed aside and people get rewarded with key positions on account of being close to the people in leadership or position, on account of being friend to the Senate President or friend to the friend of the Senate President. It's a very shameful thing. The Senate is called hallowed chambers. The National Assembly is called hallowed chambers. It is for a reason that National Assembly members are respected and the institution is respected. But where merit is brushed aside and people get favored because they are close to this person or close to that person, it means that Nigerians won't be able to vouch for that institution. The regard that Nigerians have for that institution will continue to go down. You could see that people like Senator Ireti Kingibe complained that Senator Natasha had all along been favored by this leadership of the National Assembly. But what have they seen now? In spite of favoring the woman, in spite of Senator Akpabio always calling her Princess of the Senate, you can see that things are falling apart. which reinforces the position that even where you have been so good to an individual, when you take a step that suggests to that person that you have moved against her, all hell will be let loose. This is what we have seen. Now, looking at what transpired on the floor, Senator Natasha should not have moved, should not have complained the way she did and put up all of the tantrums just because she was asked to move seat. It was an irresponsible thing on her part to go to the extent to which she went just because she was asked to move seat. And because she knew that what would then proceed from there is punishment for her unruly conduct on the floor of the National Assembly, she then decided to bring up the issue of sexual harassment. I have no evidence of sexual harassment against Senator Natasha. I also do not have evidence that she was not lying. In my career, I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. And given what happened with Reno Omokri, when Senator Natasha clearly lied against Reno Omokri, I'm compelled to wait until evidence is provided before I can nail Senator Akpabio to the cross. I am not going to behave like some Nigerians who have simply nailed Akpabio to the cross. Akpabio, as I've said before, is somebody difficult to like. He can sometimes behave like a distasteful character, but that doesn't mean that he does not deserve to be given a benefit of the doubt. Who knows? Senator Natasha may have lied against him. It is also possible that indeed Akpabio had been harassing her as she claimed. But I will never believe any of those claims until somebody provides evidence. This is the way I treated the matter of Magu, the EFCC chairman. When they claimed that Magu, the EFCC chairman, stole money, did this, did that, I was the only journalist in Nigeria openly siding with him, openly saying I did not believe that Magu stole money or stole money. At the end of the day, we were vindicated. The reason, the so-called evidence that they held on to against Magu, it was discovered to be the result of a technical glitch on the part of FCMB. And FCMB has since been taken to court. They apologized in national dailies, but the pastor who was accused of being Magu's front took them to court because nothing like that happened. Money was transferred in error through a technical glitch to the account of the pastor. And then some people went to the president, Muhammadu Buhari, to tell him that we told you that this man is dishonest. Look at the money transferred to the purse of his friend, who is a pastor. And then they took that decision to suspend him. Magu has since been vindicated. It was political witch hunt. I will never, as an individual, believe a story until you give me the evidence. Reno Omokri provided evidence that on the day that Senator Natasha claimed that he harassed her sexually, on that day, when the Kenyan president Uhuru Kenyatta came to Nigeria, Reno Omokri was not in Nigeria. He provided his ticket, he provided his passport, he provided pictures that he snapped at an event he was attending in another country. On the day gone, that Natasha claimed that he harassed him, he harassed her sexually. Newspapers in our country published the story. It turned out to be false. Reno was going to take the matter to court, but Reno was prevailed upon, and Reno was given hefty money to forget the matter. According to Reno, the person who brought the money that convinced him to let sleeping dog lie is the current husband of Senator Natasha Akpoti. So with that background, no one is saying Akpabio couldn't have done it. But with that background, it makes sense to be patient. It makes sense to not jump to conclusions. It makes sense to not nail Akpabio to the cross. Because this person has a principle.
That's right.
Again, listen to me. I'm not saying that because of that precedent, this time around she lied. I'm only saying that because of that precedent, no matter the level of hatred that we have for Akpabio, we need to give him the benefit of the doubt until this senator provides the evidence.
That's right.
Is there not a CCTV recording of the visit to the Senate President's house, during which Senator Natasha said he held on to her hand and said, look, I can make you happy. If you make me happy, I can make you happy, and all that. Is there not a CCTV recording? They need to show us so that we will be able to prove conclusively that indeed he held on to the hand of the senator and was saying those things to him. We see CCTV footages everywhere. The home of a Senate president must have CCTV coverage. So we need to see that CCTV and be able to convince ourselves that indeed such a thing happened. One thing is clear, what I've seen that is going on is that for most of our people, this issue is about politics or gender. And it is also true that over the years, women had been weaponizing sexual harassment allegations. They've been weaponizing sexual harassment allegations since creation. So it means that we have to be patient. Let Natasha go to court. She was asked whether the matter was in court. As we speak, she's here to file an action in court. I still believe that it is not the Akpabio-led Senate that will enable us know the truth about this matter. This matter has to be taken to court. The court will provide the independence that the Senate will never be able to give us. Because with Akpabio in charge as Senate president, I am not confident that anything concrete will come out of this. So if I were Natasha Akpoti, and if Natasha is serious, she needs to file an action immediately. I was disappointed when I heard her saying in the Senate that this matter has not been taken to court. Take the matter to court. Bring your evidence, the evidence you have. Because some people say you have concrete evidence. Bring that concrete evidence. Let's nail a big Nigerian for the first time. Let's see whether with the tons of evidence that you have, Akpabio will survive in the court of law.
Absolutely, BK.
I am surprised that many people are reluctant to raise the fact of Natasha lying against Reno, but they are eager to raise the matter of Akpabio making passes, making moves. According to the former MD of NDDC, to sleep with her. They point to that, but they do not. The same people will never talk about what happened with Reno.
President, yeah, absolutely.
That is not how to be objective. We have to be objective in every situation.
That's right, Mikhail.
The views, as far as I'm concerned, these views are gender-driven and the result of the gender lobby. Yes, of course, politics is also directly involved. For most, this is just politics.
Absolutely.
So if I do not like you, whatever you do, I will not give you benefit of the doubt.
That's
You
right.
must be corrupt.
That's right, BK.
So
That's
that
right.
is the thing with our people.
Absolutely. So,
If I do not like Tinubu, anybody who works for Tinubu, to me, does not deserve to be pitied.
yeah, that's right.
He deserves to be nailed to the cross. That
Okay.
is not the right approach. We must be objective in every situation.
All right, BK, I wanted to speak to this matter of sexual harassment, weaponizing sexual harassment, especially when you accuse someone of sexually harassing you. And we know how damaging this can be to people's reputation. We've seen this happen to big names, and it has brought a whole lot of people down that their career had gone down the drain. If we investigate this matter and we realize, I'm not, both of us are not saying that Senator Natasha Akpoti, is lying about this sexual harassment allegation of the thing, despite the precedent of her accusing Reno Mockery, which later turned out to be, false. If proper investigation is done and it is discovered that anyone, not just Senator Natasha Akpoti, Uduahan, anyone in this country weaponizes sexual harassment allegation against a personality, maybe not just a personality or any fellow human being, which is damage to their reputation. How do you think we should take this seriously? How do you think this country should treat this matter?
Now, if it is discovered that this thing is not true, if she cannot provide evidence, then the Senate president has every reason to take the matter to court. Don't forget, the Senate president's wife has already decided to seize the initiative by taking the matter to court. I don't know whether the case has been filed officially, but she has already indicated a desire to go to court, saying that, look, the image of the family has been battered and that Senator Akpabio has children. The children are agonizing over the disgrace that has been brought to their father, over this matter. So if investigations show that this thing is not true, then a criminal charge can be filed. A criminal charge can be filed, So this is the thing. People have been brought down by lies told by women. This is a fact. Nobody can deny it. Footballers have been brought down. Look at that player of Manchester City. Look at what happened to him. They later discovered that the woman lied against him. For that reason, he changed his nationality from France to Switzerland because he felt that his country should have backed him. During that period, his club abandoned him. Today, he is no longer playing at the highest level. He has left Manchester City to go and join Lorient, which is a club in second tier. It's a club in France. I don't even know whether it's second tier now or whatever it is. You cannot compare the class of Manchester City with that of a little known club, Lorient. So many people like that. There was a guy in the US who was accused of rape and jailed. After many years in prison, the victim, the so-called victim, came out to say, oh, I lied against this person. For his life, that part of his life that you have ruined, it cannot be repaired. The same thing with Van Persie, the former Arsenal striker. A woman got up, lied against him. There have been so many of them like that. Even Ronaldo of Portugal, he was lied against. It was investigated and found to be untrue. Neymar, the Brazilian striker, was lied against. He almost went to jail. It turned out that it was a lie. So that's why I said since creation, women have been weaponizing sexual harassment. If you are not careful, if you toast a woman, He could accuse you of harassing her sexually. In the place of work, many men have lost their jobs because of that. I agree that there are some useless men who will not allow a woman to progress in her career if the woman does not give in to their sexual demands. But the point that we are making is when people make this kind of demands, because of the examples that we have, because of what we have seen happen, not just in Nigeria, but beyond Nigeria, we have to be careful. We have to take our time and look at the pieces of evidence available before we crucify the victim. It's absolutely senseless for people to come to the conclusion that somebody is guilty without evidence. We are not in a state of nature. We are not in animal farm. Allegations must be investigated and investigated thoroughly before you can conclude that that person has committed the offense. This is my
right.
point.
That's right.
I had criticized Akpabio so many times. So many times. I even said recently that Akpabio is the reason 2 professors went to jail in Akwa Ibom because the professors tried to rig election for him. So it's not my person. It's not my person at all. But the problem with us in our country is if you try to ask for fairness about a matter that concerns a person that they don't like, they will say this is Akpabio's person. Babajide is Akpabio's person. Babajide loves Akpabio. Akpabio has given Babajide Brian Vilo. Absolute rubbish coming from people who do not know what they are doing. We are only asking for fairness. If
right,
Akpabio is guilty, he should carry his cross by himself. But we will not encourage a situation in which you conclude that somebody has committed an offense without evidence. Even God is against that. And
right.
the people who are championing nailing a man to the cross based on an evidence that has not been provided, they should be ashamed of themselves. Frankly,
That's
you
right.
can't nail a man to the cross until you have cast iron evidence that he has committed the offense.
All right,
we will never stop talking about that. It could be you. It could be you, Ibrahim, tomorrow, that your neighbor's wife will lie against you, that she was going to bath, you removed her wrapper to expose her bulky behind. It could be you tomorrow. So we have to be careful, especially women.
Absolutely.
So that's the thing. I'm not ashamed to say this. People can say what they like.
Right. Unfortunately, my house is en suite, so it will be difficult for anyone to accuse me of removing a wrapper one way or the other.
You said what?
My house is en suite. You know, the toilet and bathroom is en suite, so everyone with his own matter. So it's very difficult for anyone to. All right,
Vicky.
All right, Vicky. Let me take 1 or 2 comments. Grace Okonkwo says, silencing a woman for speaking out against injustice is the oldest trick in the book. Natasha's suspension is a clear message. Women in power are only welcome if they obey. Shameful. Nkechi Ibe says, when a woman fights for her right in Nigeria, she is called rebellious. When a man does the same, he is called strong. Natasha, we stand with you. Now, Emeka Uba says, people are quick to take sides without knowing the full details. If Natasha truly had a case, why didn't she follow the process? You can't just throw accusations around without evidence. Sonny Mohammed says, Akpabio has served in different capacities for years, and now suddenly these allegations come up. This looks more like a political smear campaign than the truth. And Aisha Bello says, this is bigger than Akpabio or Natasha. It's about how our lawmakers handle serious accusations. The ethics committee should have been transparent and fair to both sides. And Fatima Yusuf, Chinelu Obi says, politics in Nigeria is a joke. Instead of focusing on governance, we are watching a real-life soap opera play out. When will our leaders prioritize the people over their egos? Well, because of our time, BK, I wanted to just quickly react to these last questions. But critics have actually condemned the ethics committee handing of the case, alleging bias How has this perceived bias affected the credibility of the committee's decision to suspend Senator Natasha Akpabio for 6 months? And what do you think? How do you think they should resolve this matter quickly?
A lot of the people condemning the ethics committee, they are ignorant. Natasha was not suspended for any reason other than her unruly conduct on the floor. Continuing to speak from a seat you are not assigned is against the rules of the Senate. People can sit anywhere in the Senate. The lawmakers can sit anywhere, but they cannot make contributions except from seats assigned to them by the Senate president. Now you refuse to get up from a seat that you are assigned. If you try that on an international flight, for example, they are going to deboard you. They will, the pilot will make sure that he gets you out of that aircraft, and you can even face prosecution. So in the Senate, they have their rules. Article 40, subsection 4 states clearly that the Senate president can move you from your seat, but you cannot talk from another seat you've been assigned. So she was shouting from a seat she had not been assigned. So that automatically even rules are out of order. She's not entitled to be listened to because she was talking from a seat she was not assigned. That is purely what the rule says. And then she was suspended for that. She was not suspended for making the allegation. She was suspended for the conduct that she put up on the floor. So how can the ethics committee be biased when the law is clear? Was she the only person who was moved that day? The answer is no. Why is it that she was the only one screaming? There's nowhere that is done. People can say what they like, but some of us will stand by the truth at all times. We are not ruled by our emotions. We are in control of our emotions. So whether it's our friend or our enemy that is affected by an issue, we try to stand on the side of the truth. So this is the thing. As far as I'm concerned, the ethics committee has not done anything wrong. They tried her based on her conduct on the floor. And any senator who behaves like that will get the same punishment. And the question people should ask is, how come 108 senators, none of them got up to say, you must not punish Natasha? 108 of them, all the women were against her. It must be because they were all convinced that she went too far. You can protest without necessarily going that far. And another question is, since the man sexually harassed you since 2023, why are you just saying it in 2025?
All right, BKO.
Is there a reason you didn't say it? Is there a reason you didn't say it since then?
Since then.
So people need to ask the question.
That's right, BKO.
Put two and two together to know the truth.
That's right.
And the truth shall set you free.
Absolutely, BKO. Because of our time.
It's as simple as that.
Right, that's right. Because of our time, we need to quickly go on. Let me see if I can take just one more comment before I go. This person says, no matter how you feel about Akpabio, defamation is a serious offense. If his wife is suing for 350 billion naira, they must believe Natasha has crossed the line. And then the last comment says, Fatima Yusuf says, I don't know who is right or wrong, but one thing is clear, Nigeria still has a long way to go when it comes to justice for women and accountability for men in power. BKO, because of our time, we need to call it a day. That's our show for today's edition of Issues with Jide. Special thanks to you, Baba Jide for those insightful analyses, as always.
Thank you.
And do enjoy your party. Thank you so much for spending time.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, dear viewers. Thank you. I'm going back to the party now. I'm sure they still have some stuff left for me.
Just
we'll
be
do this
mindful
again next week.
Yeah.
And hopefully.
Be mindful of the inebriating stuff, as you said, as you normally say. Be mindful of it.
Yes. I'll try my best. I'll try my best.
All right,
Hopefully, we won't have to deal with another scandal in the National Assembly.
that's right.
There are far more important things for those lawmakers to do for us.
That's right.
Fighting over seats, fighting over chairmanship positions is a shame. You are in the place to serve our people.
That's right.
The competition for chairmanship is needless where people truly want to serve.
That's right. That's right. All right. Thank you so much, BK. And thank you to our audience for thank you so much for today's edition of Issues with Jide. And thank you to our audience for keeping our company on every edition. You can see the program again anytime by subscribing to our YouTube channel, TVC News Nigeria. Click on the subscribe button and get the latest information. You can also follow us on our social media platforms at TVC News NG. I'm also at Ibrahim_Shooter. On behalf of the rest of the team, I'm Ibrahim Shooter. See you again next edition. Bye for now.